There is nothing in the world that would fill me with more confidence than coming up with an idea for a 2D platforming level that was so good the Mario team directly ripped it off in their next game. Although I would have been salty about the fact that Limbo beat me to it just 4 months before release. But Limbo uses shadows as an artistic choice to convey the overwhelming despair of its world. Donkey Kong Country Returns uses shadows in a way purely focused on gameplay. Now, from a purely analytical standpoint, removing the colour from the level but not obscuring the level itself wouldn't be all that effective. After all, you can still see everything the level has to offer. It's not like a dark level where you can only see your immediate surroundings. Returns uses these levels in a cheeky way, to try and trick the player into taking damage. In Sunset Shores, there's an enemy that appears exclusively in this stage called a mimic, that pretends to be part of the background, when in actuality it's an enemy in the foreground. There are multiple elements that play with perspective throughout the game, which in my opinion makes the 3DS the definitive platform for this game, although I'm writing this before playing the Switch version. But that's the core gameplay element that makes the silhouette levels so fantastic, how they present a unique opportunity to play with perspective. This means it can pull tricks that aren't possible in full colour levels. For example, Foggy Fumes puts a haze in front of the platforming, so you can't tell if it's obscuring a safe place to land or a pitfall. What's more is that these silhouette levels are some of the best examples of what makes Retro Studios' Donkey Kong games some of the best 2D platformers of all time: visual storytelling. In Super Mario games, levels are simply themed around a biome, and enemies are always placed haphazardly around the level. There's no connecting theme or visual identity behind each level, it's just this is a grass level, desert level, etc, etc. In Retro Studios' Donkey Kong Country games, each level has a thematic blend between its visuals and its gameplay, and nowhere is this better exemplified than these silhouette levels. Sunset Shores takes place at sunset, so the increased glare of the sun would obscure Donkey Kong's vision, and so this gimmick is passed on to the player, and the level is themed around that idea. Foggy Fumes takes place in a soot-choked factory, and so the noxious smog clouds the interior of the factory, as well as the player's screen. And of course, Smokey Peak takes place on an active volcano, so the volcanic gases serve as the visual barrier between the player and the level. Each of these 3 levels also has a secondary theme that matches the gameplay of each level. Sunset Shores is a relaxed and idyllic setting, also it's an early game level. As such, the level isn't challenging and more serves as a gorgeous set piece to wow early players, whilst still lightly playing with the shadowed concept. Foggy Fumes is a frantically moving factory, with spinning wheels and complex machinery moving all throughout the stage. So this level is based around precision platforming and finding the correct spot to land, as the theming of the level encourages you to speed up in order to get you to fall. Finally, Smokey Peak is an intense and thunderous level, with the imminent eruption of a volcano looming over you. And so this is primarily a Rambi level, to match the destructive nature of the volcano with the primal fury of a rhino. Donkey Kong Country Returns is a game filled to the brim with inventive and iconic levels that has sadly been overshadowed by Tropical Freeze. But these silhouette levels are a prime example of the sheer excellence of this game, because again, Mario Wonder directly stole these levels for itself. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about the sublime movement in Mario Wonder.